All right, what's up? What's up? Okay, guys. Give us another 3 more minutes. Andy is still not here. Then what we can do is we just chill out first, and then today's topic is gonna be quite good, which is are blockchains genuinely ready for business? So this is a very important topic that I think everyone should tune in on. So make sure that if you are back from work, get a cup of coffee, and also a notebook would be nice. Or if you have your laptop up, take down some notes. That will always be great. Also, we'll be addressing the risks and also reallocating your portfolios accordingly so that we can position ourselves properly for the months going forward till we end the year in 2018. All right, so just stay tuned, guys. See you in a bit. What's up, Eric? Good to see you here again. Eric used to be part of the group a very long time ago, especially at the beginning of the year when we first started the group. Very happy to have him back. I think it's very nice to have all our old school members coming back to us, and especially I think we're gonna have Wiki, if you guys remember him. He's also going to be joining us once. I think he's going to be joining us in June. So excited to see everyone. That's right. That's right. One of the first. All right, gentlemen. So let me just send a message out there. Can someone talk or something? I just want to see whether this thing works. Hello. Oh, there's not everyone can talk, is it? Wait, let me see. Wait, let me see. Oh shit, there's no. Okay, so Billy, you can hear me, right? So I think I need to let someone talk so that at least I can know whether it works. Okay, Eric, do me a favor. I'm going to allow you to talk. So I need you to use your mic. Eric, can you talk? Hello?
Hello?
All right. Thanks, brother.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, hi.
All
Thank
right.
you, Ryan.
So maybe you should just give a quick little introduction about yourself and how you became debt free. I think that is something that a lot of people will want to kind of find out
Yeah,
about.
sure. I started cryptocurrencies on June, July, the bull run in the summer of last year in 2017.
That's
And there
right.
was a lot
We
of
got
hype
owned,
around.
man.
As, you, as everybody knows, whenever there's a cryptocurrency bull run, new money comes in, and that I'm part of that new money. And I started on the 2017 summer. But it turns out that I was just really new. So like I'm hungry for real good advice, and like a couple of times I've been, scammed, and like either that or like I did lose money. I think everybody does whenever they started their first time in crypto. And then I met Ryan. Like I was watching your YouTube channels, and whatever you say make really sense. 100% sense. And as soon as they offered, the first CG in Discord, I signed up, and I got there. And then one time, you guys were reviewing X in October for the ICO.
Yep.
I was lucky enough to be part of the X ICO. I think I just got in for 1 Ethereum and I left it, but I did cash out because I was in need of money. And I missed all the bull run on November and December. I missed it all. It was very unlucky and unfortunate. If I had kept the money and stuff, because I used the money to credit cards to buy cryptocurrencies, and I should have at least put a little bit of money. I got scared from the China flood,
Yep.
which happened in September, and I got out of the market. I was still very new, and then but the funny thing is, I still left X. That's the only cryptocurrency I have left. As everybody could see, it grew. My return on investment grew to $20,000. I invested like around $500 to 20K.
Okay.
That's a huge difference. So
that helped you. That was the main bulk that helped you out to clear
exactly.
the rim. Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I haven't actually cashed out yet because I'm just kind of waiting and seeing, to see what's going on.
Yep.
Because I feel like 28X, I believe in the project. Zach seems like a real great CEO, and the project doing a lot of research. And if it wasn't for CryptoGrinders, I wouldn't know all these information firsthand.
Thank you,
That's
man.
why.
Thanks so much, Eric. So I mean, guys, this is one of those real life testimonials that we have. I think it's always good to kind of help everyone, and at the same time, sometimes we have a voice like Eric, who has been with us for so long. It was a little bit sad when he had to leave, but then it was really nice and refreshing to have him back. And then that just shows that the community is still there, right? And at the same time, also people still think about us even though they were away and whatnot. So welcome back. Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you. And one of the reason why I left is because I didn't have any money. I was like,
and then suddenly it's like boom.
I was so I had to I don't want to be in credit card debt, so like I sold all my cryptocurrency holdings to pay off my credit card debts and stuff like that.
So you have no debt, right? Am I right?
No credit card debts right now.
So let's focus on wealth accumulation, really. All right.
Yes, that's exactly right. So but lucky enough, I was really heartbroken because if I had not been scared, I would have benefited from the bull run which happened in November and December. I was kind of kicking myself, but all in all, it was a great learning experience. I still hold on to X, and that benefited me. So thank you.
Most welcome. You're most welcome. And I think this is a lesson for everyone, that it's for everyone, even myself. For example, if we are too overweight in the cryptocurrency market, and we know that the cryptocurrency market is tremendously volatile, even now, okay, and extremely uncertain. So what happens is that we get very emotional when it comes to market corrections, right? And that is why we have to be very wise in the way we position our funds. And also we are able to kind of come to terms when the market tanks very aggressively. And I think majority of the Premier Group are already very familiar with a market correction, especially those who joined in January. And when the market was at the peak of the bull run, it tanked aggressively. And those who are still staying with us, I seriously applaud you guys. You really owe yourselves a pat on the back, that you really worked through it. You didn't give up. You were still, staying strong to the strategies that CG planned out for you guys. And you know what? You guys are now, definitely in the money. Some of you are even debt-free from the experience. And we only want to continue to do this kind of good work. Thank you so much, by the way, Eric. So we want to start Andy's segment already. He is all set up. Are you all set up already? Okay. So thank you so much, Eric. Thank you for coming on and sharing, my friend. Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so yeah, so let me see now. Wait, let me see. We want to move to the. Okay, so guys, welcome. Andy is now on already, and he's basically getting ready to give us an overview of the general markets. Then from then, I'll be stepping into the cryptocurrency markets, followed by a little bit of technical analysis on Andy's side, where he will cover the various cryptocurrencies. As I mentioned, apart from the main topic, which is our business, are blockchains genuinely ready for business? We also want to cover your portfolio. I did mention yesterday that you all need to tidy up your portfolio so that you guys can ask me questions. And at the same time, when I say tidy up, I think there are certain people who have gone a little bit overboard on certain cryptocurrencies. The good thing is there's no right or no wrong. The only thing is you gotta just remember that if you do go a little bit too overweight into the altcoin space, and when BTC starts to really go up aggressively, just take note that altcoins do take a hit. So we kind of found a little bit of a safe haven in Huobi. But how long will Huobi actually have this negative correlation? That means meaning that when BTC corrects aggressively, it tends to move upwards. We do not know. But obviously, there are still some internal inside movements that is causing this market movement. As you can see, today is still a majority a red day for the market. But never mind. Before I go into the whole cryptocurrency overview, let Andy cover the general markets first. Andy, take it away, man.
Hey guys, can you all hear me? Can you hear me? All right. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. So this is not a radio station, but anyway, so just a few news top on this week, and when I woke up this morning, I saw this news. I was kind of happy. So the main thing is China trade war fears actually recede. All right. So, China actually, kind of like give in to the U.S. in terms of taxation and in terms of a trade war, and therefore dollar or US dollars started going up against the other form of currencies. All right, so just a quick one. Basically, I think more importantly, it's just the easing of US China. Yeah, and let me see what else I missed. Okay, so basically what happened. Okay, this article didn't really cover. Okay, maybe I'll find another one. All right, so Sino US trade war on hold. All right, so okay, let me try and find details. Okay. Okay, so the weekend talk appears to have made progress. While they need to work out details of a wider trade deal, it is positive for the market as they struck a truce. And anyway, recent data suggests that US economy is very strong. Okay, so anyway, what had happened from my own sources was that the Chinese market. Okay, let me find the article. It's actually it's actually sent by my broker, so it's not really information found elsewhere. Okay, so what my broker said was, maybe I can send you later. Okay, so US and China make a joint announcement. China will buy more US goods, okay, and China aims to narrow trade deficit with the US. So both sides will not engage in trade war, and no extra import tariffs will be levied. This will lend good support to the market to buy more energy, agricultural, pharmaceutical, and high-tech products from the US. So we see trading opportunity in tech, smartphone supply chain, city gas distribution, and pork producer. Huh? On the flip side, okay, this one not important. So basically what it implies is China and US are actually easing off their trade war, and the China side is actually buying more stuff from the US and vice versa. Okay, so it's actually a good news for the entire market. And because of the trade war, the market has been very, very downplayed. That has been it's quite bearish, in fact. And of course, because of that news, remember trade is actually quite reliant on energy. And example, if I were to send a product from say US to China and whatever not, I have to send it via air or via sea, right? And therefore oil will be required. So when it comes to logistics, in terms of transportation and everything, you will also need to calculate the cost of oil. So anyway, oil prices got boosted by news as they put trade war on hold. Okay, so actually this week it's really not much of news per se. I think the most impactful will be the trade war easing. But let's just see if there's any FX news for this week. Okay, blah 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 blah. Okay, anyway. All right, so there's basically nothing much for this week. Okay, so FOMC is coming week as well, so they will likely set the pace of how the tone for actually this week and also for the rest of the month. So we just need to take note of that as well. Okay, so I won't go into the details lah. That's FX already, so I won't go there. All right, so I saw a few news that might concern some of you in terms of what? Sorry, in terms of cryptocurrency. So Ethereum miners are mass targeted by Satoshi botnet attack. Okay, so this just came out about 5 hours ago or so. And there's a browser mining. Hackers are targeting miner rigs now. Okay, so because of increasing people mining Ethereum blockchain, okay, the hackers are actually infiltrating into hacking into mining software and things like that. All right, so do be careful if you're still mining cryptocurrencies. You're mining Ethereum especially. This particular news that I saw was kind of cool. Vitalik actually consider Google, right? So he was asking followers on Twitter if he should leave Ethereum for tech giant Google. Okay, I think, I don't know, is it for fun? Or is it that he really got jaded after building Ethereum on Solidity? He got bored. Like maybe he saw Quantum, he's doing the x86, and he's kind of sian, he's like kind of, oh shit, what am I gonna do with Ethereum? So maybe he really wants to join. But I'm just saying, but I don't think Google will be able to hire him anyway. He's like an alien level, right? Maybe Google next time have his own smart contract. That'd be quite cool though. But anyway, I think he removed that tweak ever since about 4 or 5 hours ago. I don't think that affected Ethereum's prices much. Yeah, so actually this is all for the markets this week. Nothing much major happening. Right.
All right. So
yeah.
All right, so thank you very much, Andy. So, okay, guys, so I'm going to be covering whether businesses are ready, whether blockchains are ready for business. So, a lot of cryptocurrencies at the moment are claiming that they are going to either be very sector specific, or they're going to provide a platform for the creation of dApps or the creation of other platforms, or at least even provide enterprise solutions. So now this is more of general. I don't want to pinpoint any one particular cryptocurrency. I just want to let you all have a little bit of analytical thinking during this process, especially when you select cryptocurrencies. Now, why is this element important? If we do not nail down what is the driving force for this or the infrastructure for this space, then we are not able to really prioritize what kind of cryptocurrencies would matter for our money. And a lot of times, right, people love to chase the next shiny thing. So nothing wrong with that. It's just that I think there are sometimes we are too overweight in the hype. Okay, and that is a concern to me, because what happens is that, okay, here's how most groups start. Okay, even our group, we started off with everyone at 10,000 US dollars. Okay, that is the minimum, at least the minimum trading criteria. Now, the other exception is that if you come into the group with less, that means you're in it to learn. That means you're in here because you want to listen to our weekly webinars. At the same time, you want to have input and insights, and of course, analysis from in the Discord group. Also, you are trying to have all the information and all the news in one place, right? Instead of going to Cointelegraph or going to Bitcoin.news, Bitcoin.com.news or whatever, and then you're all over the place, CCN. The news channel helps you to kind of find out all that information from the Discord group. So what happens is that in the past, if let's say you're coming in with 10K USD, all right, what happens is that you don't really feel very much inclined. You don't feel inclined to have too much BTC, because BTC doesn't provide the kind of market movement that it did last year. And it's also very cyclical. Sometimes it just goes really crazy at a certain point, but you kind of like, if you just sit on BTC alone, you're not going to get that kind of 20%, 30, 40, 50% that you see that everyone else seems to be getting. And you're like, wow, shit, I'm missing out big time, man. I should be putting in heavy into EOS. I should be putting in heavy into Fusion or some kind of other kind of crypto that is leading up to some mainnet launch. Now, let me just address something about mainnet launches. Mainnet launches are basically part and parcel. It is no different from you waking up in the morning, brushing your teeth, taking a shit, and washing your face. It's fucking no big deal. I just want to let you all know that, okay? But however, last year, that was all the hype. In the past, last year's mainnet launching did create enough hype that it made sense. But being that there's now 1,500 cryptocurrency, 1,600 cryptocurrencies as of now, you're going to see a huge saturation. Okay, there's only going to be so few liquidity providers that are going to be engaged, right, by these companies or by these projects to help them to move the market when there's a major announcement. You see where I'm going at? So so here's how it works, okay, from a manipulation standpoint. Before I go into the actual fundamentals of a true business ready, a blockchain that is business ready. Before I cover that, I want to cover the manipulation part first. So if I'm a project, okay, I create a smart contract. I have these X amount of pre-mined coins. Say me and Andy come out, Andy and Ryan coin, okay? So we have 100 million coins. These 100 million coins will be used eventually to use for many different cases. Either I raise funds already, I'm going to distribute it to you all as my investors via a smart contract, okay, for especially those who have participated in the ICO. Next, from then, I will use it for either my POS or my consensus algorithm for me to inject more of my coins into circulation, okay? Then after that, I will use it for the internal token utility. May it be, if I'm a smart contract protocol, naturally, when you create a smart contract, then you will be burning my tokens, our tokens, to execute this smart contract. All right, and of course, naturally, there can be an internal economy of every transfer. When you are a staker on the block, you are staking and you are validating the blocks, you get a reward. I will reward you based on what is my consensus algorithm and incentive program. Okay, so there are some incentive programs that are more attractive than others, but then there are certain incentive programs that are pretty straightforward, where they give you anywhere 3 to 4 to 5% per annum. Okay, and also the fluctuation is very, very different. Okay, so what happens is that right now, any kind of mainnet launch, okay, you have to ask how much hype has been created. So you can take this as a strategy. Okay, you can take this as a strategy where if there is enough hype traction, right, like EOS and Tron and EDA, all these kind of very big names, right? They know how to hype it up, and they're willing to pay market makers, right, or liquidity providers to kind of move the market for them. So what they're doing is that they are either going to give them tokens to move and create volume, all right? And then, of course, naturally, these market makers and liquidity providers, they tend to always be on it. Sometimes I've heard from the back end that even the exchanges are in on it, right? So it kind of like, usually most of the time, it is the exchanges, okay? And what happens is that there's this market movement and there's this circulation, and it creates a lot of volume on a very consistent basis. And then what happens, it creates a lot of FOMO and people start to buy in. So always be cautious and be aware of this kind of front running and all that. Okay, so just want to highlight this to you guys. Then the next thing is, okay, now we're gonna go into the genuine what makes a blockchain genuinely ready for business. Firstly, you have to ask yourself, is it a public blockchain or is it a private blockchain? So if it's public blockchain, right, then what is the level of what is the aim of it, right? Is it for people to start developing on it, or is going to be a private blockchain that perhaps is or it can be a public but permissionless? Okay, that means permission, public but permission. That means I'm going to set a certain set of criteria for you to be able to code on it. If you are not qualified or whatever, okay, I will not let you code on it. So that could be a public blockchain, but it's permission. Okay, so there's always that kind of criteria. Then there's the public blockchain where anybody and everybody can start developing on it as long as the SDK tools are available. That means the software developer kit is already ready. That means it's just so user-friendly. And at the same time, you have to have enough compatibility for languages. Okay, I've been talking to developers in general, and they are saying that, look, as much as, yes, I believe in this whole blockchain revolution, and it's definitely gonna be something that I'm interested in. But because of the language, right, and I have to relearn something, I don't want to relearn something new so that I can create something on it. I am sincerely hoping that because I have this X amount of years using Java, C++, C Sharp, Rust, Golang, and whatnot, I would love to use these languages to my advantage to create something. And I think that is what makes a blockchain business friendly. Okay, that's one. Huh? Okay, so because you claim that you are a smart contract protocol, you cannot just create a smart contract and you are telling yourself that this business is already a blockchain business. Okay, that's complete BS. And that is what most projects are doing at the moment. So this is how it works. They will engage someone who can create a smart contract, meaning the smart contract is just purely for creation of tokens. And at the end of the day, after creating the token, right, you are going to be able to create a smart contract when people contribute, you are going to turn it on after the ICO, and then from then execute. That means it will just send the tokens to their address. Okay, something like that. So this is kind of like how it usually works. And they claim that they are a blockchain business, okay, which is not true, right? So you want to be able to find businesses or projects that are willing to work hand in hand with each other and genuinely develop on the space. So there are only few projects that do that, right? Then the next thing is you want to have a standard library. So this standard library is where all the code is being housed. Right now, Ethereum is number one. Okay, Ethereum, hands down, Ethereum has the most projects being built on it. But how successful is Ethereum? It will be based on the number of addresses. At the same time, the number of transactions. Are the number of addresses and transactions continuously going up? As we all know, there was a very successful program called CryptoKitties that brought Ethereum network down to its knees. So meaning that just because of a very, very high influx of transactions that were going on the Ethereum network, imagine the Ethereum network could not handle CryptoKitties, guys. What more other kinds of transactions? So end of the day, right, whatever business that wants to transact fast has to kind of like create a side chain or a fork of the Ethereum network and create their own chain where the nodes are definitely lesser because no one has freaking time to do all the grassroots shit, right? Because no one wants to go around educating people, encouraging people. So you ask yourself, the next thing, which is I want to cover, is the grassroots element. But let me cover the centralization part. So just very simple. If I'm going to be transacting with Andy back and forth, okay, isn't it faster, right? He is validating my transaction, I'm validating his transaction, bada bing, bada boom, everything gets done. So that's kind of how everything works. That's why when you notice that when you see certain projects that claim they have fucking high transactions per second, fantastic. That means their model is to go for speed and latency. They do not have as much security as they claim that they should. Also, over the weekend, I had the opportunity to meet one of our legacy members. He is someone who is in the cybersecurity space. He is a professional in the space. And he mentioned that it's always also a compromise. And most coders or developers don't think with security in mind. For example, how do we know that the Ethereum smart contract is secure as it claims it is? So as we all know, it has been hacked quite a number of times. It has quite a number of bugs as well. So it is not as secure as it claims to be. But if the code was already written not with the intent of not with malicious intent, but it was written in a way that, it was just neglecting the security elements, right? It's not just about if and then, right? If and then is basically, if this happens, then this will happen, right? That's how smart contracts are written. But in terms of cybersecurity, there are layers, for example, to check whether or not this particular code or this particular smart contract is safe. No one does that because it costs an additional amount of money. So there are also projects that focus on accounting and auditing these smart contracts, right? So we kind of like see that this ecosystem of various projects are starting to take place and complement each other. So all these things have to come into play, and no one can say that they do everything. Okay? No one can say that they do everything. Right. Now, the next one is the grassroots. Say, for example, crypto grinders. Okay, I just think very, very simple. Okay, let's not talk about any tech or whatever. Let's talk about crypto grinders. Crypto grinders took like almost 1 year to build the community it built. It built its community on YouTube. It built its community on Facebook. Everything that we built, guys, is through hard work and content creation with zero, honestly, zero monetary gain. Same thing like when you build a project, right? Bitcoin was born from zero monetary incentive, other than a reward when you mine a block. That at that point, when it was 50 Bitcoins, it was just for the idea, right? Because there was no value. There was no value in Bitcoin at that time. But as the value grew, that's when it attracted the business individuals who were thinking, wow, if I can invest in this X amount of mining equipment, blah, 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 this could also get me X amount of return at the end of the day. Okay, so this is the whole, okay, so this is kind of like how everyone sees this whole space right now. Everything must come with an incentive. No one gives a shit about the grassroots part, which is the hardest part. And it depends on what you want to build and how you are going to plan to attract people into this space. Okay. Now, the community, we as the community, we also play a huge role. If we don't, okay, so how are projects incentivizing us at the moment? Okay, so let's say we talk about MPXS. MPXS rewards us as holders by giving us 7.316 per month airdrop. Fantastic. That in turn is also helping them circulate their tokens. But they are very smart. If there's no price spikes, right? The tokens will always be held by the biggest wallets. Okay, that's kind of not like what they want as well. They want to also give others the opportunity to buy their tokens. All right, and at the same time also there has to be enough circulation in the market. But thankfully, cryptocurrencies can be fractionalized. And when you can fractionalize, sure, even if it's $10, you can buy a portion of it. It doesn't matter. And those who are willing to hold, especially if eventually MPXS moves to having their own mainnet for more flexibility, or maybe they want to change the consensus algorithm, they can. That is why most of the time people break away from Ethereum and kind of form their own mainnet. Okay, so that they can be having the flexibility, whether they want to be more focused on scaling, whether they want to be more focused on security, they have that flexibility. And also maybe they feel that they can build a better Ethereum platform. That's what everyone claims, right? Everyone wants to kill Ethereum, right? Everyone wants to be the next Ethereum killer. So that being said, until that has been proven, Ethereum is still number one. Okay, Ethereum is still number one. It still sits at 70 billion in terms of bloody market cap. The rest are all like small little children beside Ethereum. So until that happens, don't kind of talk shit. Okay, so now the next thing is, as the community, how are we incentivized? So right now there are miners and stakers. So miners, obviously, they're the ASIC miners, they're the GPU miners, and then comes the validators. Okay, so the validators are the POSers, right? People like myself, right? So miners are the ones that obviously are investing in large amounts of equipment, and at the same time, after that, it will be based on electricity. Electricity is the key of the Bunsen burner for them to acquire their rewards. So if, let's say, for example, we move towards POS, which a lot of the coins are doing right now, it's just easier. As a business, if I was to kind of be one of the nodes, it's easier for me. Okay, I'm not gonna fucking go and buy like a whole bunch of equipment, put it in my office, and then while everyone's working, I let it run. Okay, it's not gonna happen. Obviously, I want to have it in a little server room, have maybe a few Raspberry Pis, or maybe just download the light client, right? The client, the core wallet or whatever, and then start running and staking. Very, very simple. Okay, and then from then, it's just a matter of keeping the network running, right? Because even if you talk about you want to create an enterprise solution, okay, for let's say I'm a public blockchain, I want to offer an enterprise solution. That is to help me monetize my skills. Whether or not this enterprise solution is going to run on the public network, I doubt so. It's definitely going to be a separate chain, okay, that will cater to the customer and be very customized to that enterprise's needs. So whenever that, okay, for example, when we talk about Quantum mentioned that they're offering enterprise solution, don't get excited. do not get excited because it does not help. It does not help the quantum token go up. It doesn't. Okay, because for enterprise solutions, there is no need for a cryptocurrency. All right, right. So it's just the same. Like I think I can't remember some other blockchain. You know, like some other blockchain claims that they're going to offer enterprises. Okay, so let's say for example Hyperledger or IBM, you can buy into their stocks, no problem, right? If they have stocks or they're listed, but you're not going to benefit because there's no cryptocurrency for you to speculate on or whatever. Okay, so the cost is very low, especially if, for example, this particular blockchain is offering this solution, so the cost is brought down. But when you look at a public blockchain, it's slightly more costly, okay, in comparison to a private blockchain, because private blockchains are meant to be cheap, fast, customizable. That means they can even transact at 100,000 per transactions per second because there are very little nodes, okay, that cater to it. So the team, on the other hand, is building its skill set, which is good, You want to have the team being exposed to various walks of life, various demands from the market. That way they grow. Because if they don't have that experience, they cannot think past a certain level, because they can be their own lead. Because after all, we are human beings, we're always learning. They only may know certain things up to a certain level. But if they have a huge business experience on building businesses and infrastructure, then you are having this kind of team. So the team itself is also very important. Now, the next thing is the demand, the genuine market demand, right? Everything is about demand and supply. If there's going to be so many smart contract protocols out there claiming that they're going to be the next big thing, or they're going to offer from a very specific geographic positioning. For example, ICX is like, for example, the kind of the Korean Ethereum. Then we have ELF in Singapore, which is claiming that they are providing their solution. But my question is, are these people as talented or as qualified as they claim to be? That is my question. You mean you're trying to tell me that suddenly, just because every mother's son is now a blockchain developer, then that means everyone is so talented and good at creating a smart contract protocol that is better than Ethereum, when the people at Ethereum are still struggling to figure their shit out? Come on, man. I don't believe. So that means everyone is just theoretically just creating an enterprise solution, but using the ICO market to raise funds. Then my next concern comes into play. Will these people or these projects that have already raised funds going to do what they are going to do? This is my concern. And so all these things coming together, right? Why am I bringing you through this journey for the past 10, 15 minutes? Because I want you to start analyzing very, very maturely and analytically on how CG does its analysis of why we buy shit. Right? And when we buy our stuff, right, we are wanting to stay invested. And when we say we stay invested, because we realize, Saktam, this is going to be a 12, 24 months to even a 36 months hodl already. Then everyone will be like, oh, wow, shit, I didn't sign up for this. I signed up for the fast movements. I signed up for the hype. Then, my friends, then how are you going to enjoy long-lasting wealth when you cannot invest big into something? When you do not have the courage to invest big into something, don't kind of talk to me about long-lasting wealth. If you put $1,000 into something, okay, and sure, somehow it 1,000x. If you really was that lucky, you hit your first $100,000. Okay, let's say you hit your first $100,000, or so $100,000. Fantastic. Is that going to set you for life? Just saying, giving you perspective. Okay, it's not going to set you for life, because we all will have certain liabilities at that point. That $100,000 means nothing. So you need to start growing that portfolio from, of course, naturally from where you are at right now to the 6 figures, and you have to move up to the high 6 figures to 7 figures. But it takes time. You must give yourself this room to grow. And if if CG team doesn't inject all these things into you all will be all over the fucking place, and you'll be listening to all the various Twitter traders and whatnot. And you know what's the joke? Some of them don't even have the kind of money that we have, and they're educating other people. So back when I was a banker, right, we had this joke. So they say that the people on Wall Street, right, okay, so people on Wall Street, the bankers, right, take the subway. But the ones who are coming in on the Rolls Royce and the Bentleys are listening to these fuckers who take the subway. It kind of like, does that kind of make sense to you, right? So the bankers are taking the subway, and then, for example, the well-to-do, the well-off ones, the ones that are coming in, the Bentleys, the Rolls Royce, and the Porsches are listening to these people who don't even have that kind of level of wealth. So there's something wrong here, you see. So I'm not trying to say that I am like a fucking qualified individual or whatever, but I'm just saying that I think in order to educate someone, I think you have to be also had that level of success. So I want to be able to impart all this to you all so that at the end of the day, if we are going to achieve 1 million people debt free, right? You guys are going to be our mouthpiece. You guys are going to be the community leaders. And if you all set up shop in your various countries, right, it doesn't matter because you did it the right way. And we need to have that kind of thing. We need to have that kind of mindset when we look at certain cryptocurrencies. So that being said, now we're going to look at your portfolio right now. So everybody should have their portfolio ready at the moment, okay? And I kind of like want to ask a few analytical questions, okay? Which is kind of like how we do a financial needs analysis. So you would know your risk profile by now, okay? So far, if you've been handling your risk pretty well, especially during the bear market, that means the funds that you have in this market don't affect you already. Okay, you may not feel good about losing it, but you're definitely okay, right? You're definitely okay. So you have reached by now, you should have reached a certain level of confidence. Now, of course, those who are new, you still are supposed to join our orientation this week, this Thursday. So for goodness sake, please open your email and attend the thing, because the last one we had too few compared to the number of people that are new. So please get on board so that we can kind of like give you get you in line. Okay. So anyway, those who are already having a portfolio right now, you are anywhere from 3 to 7 cryptocurrencies. Okay. 7 is the stretch for us, right? And the whole idea is why we want to keep your portfolio small is so that you can focus on managing your allocation very well. Because you see, a human being, right? If you have, okay, let me just put it this way. If you have 15 cryptocurrencies, okay, let's say you have 15 cryptocurrencies, how are you going to track your allocation well? That means you're either someone who is very meticulous, or you're someone who just believes in all these projects, or you're just a very happy spirit. You just want to start throwing money at all these projects. This project looks good. Let me go and put money into that. Oh, this project looks not bad as well. I believe in this project. I'm also quite familiar. Let me put in that well. Oh, this one has a good cost. Let me put into that one as well. At the end of the day, right, you're not going to be able to track which cryptocurrencies make sense because you did not have a game plan. And from then, whatever that moons, right, you don't even know. Even if it did moon, right, you were working, you were taking care of your kid, and because no one talks about it, right, because you are the only sole individual that saw it. So you are the only sole individual that saw it. And if it moons, great. But did you put enough to make a difference? See, that's the question now here. Did you put enough to make a difference? So those are the things that I want to kind of highlight. Because no point you tell me about your 30, 40, 50, 100, 200% gains, but you only put $50 inside. Okay? I want you to have the confidence that when you make a decision on an investment, you're going to put 10 grand. You're going to put 50 grand. You're going to put 100 grand. That's how you think. Because if you don't think that way, right, it's going to take an eternity for us to reach the 1 mil mark debt free. Just saying, okay? So we need to get everyone on the same page, and that is why we need to kind of compress, right, all the decisions that we have to make and make these criteria very, very tight. Whatever I've just mentioned, the long story that I gave you all just now, those are the various types of criteria which we will highlight, and we will create a list in Medium. I will get Mike to help us type it out. From then, you just follow the criteria. From then, you can just make assessments on these various types of projects. Okay. Now, the next thing is your risk appetite. You have already Okay, so let's not cover the risk appetite. Let's go into the allocation part. So those who are aggressive, you are going to have probably about 30% in BTC at this point of time. You are already balls deep, maybe 70 to 80% into altcoins already, because you couldn't take it, and which is good. I think those who are a little bit more aggressive, especially in the right coins, you will have a higher ROI compared to an old fat like me that probably put 50% to even 60% in BTC. Good on you. So for me, I'm more conservative. Okay, I'm definitely more conservative. All right, but when I need to be aggressive, I know when to be aggressive, and when I turn it on, basically it's definitely going to go all in one. So for now, I am looking at Huobi. I'm looking at NPXS, I'm looking at Quantum, and I'm looking at BTC, and I'm looking at Ethereum. So I'm looking at these 5 kind of coins. OCN, that's at the bottom of the ocean. It's okay. It was a hype play, right? Because you all wanted to gamble a little bit. We gave you a little bit of gambling tokens. So as you can see, what happened? It tanked more than, I think, I think the high was 500, and then it tanked to 200. I think the low was 200 Satoshis. So you see, folks, this is what happens when you gamble. Can you put 100 grand into that? Definitely not. Not many people should. Anyway, I did it, but because my 100 grand was less than 10% of my portfolio. You get what I'm saying? When it tanked, I did nothing. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I was having a Mother's Day dinner, by the way. So when you reach that kind of level of emotional confidence and strength, right, then by all means. So it's the same. So let me reiterate. If you came in with 10,000, you put 1,000 in there, and the bugger tanks, it's okay, because that was one bullet. You still have 9 other bullets to use for other shit. That is why the allocation that we always put out there, especially when we say it is highly speculative, and we say 5 to 10% of your portfolio, please follow. Okay, please follow. Because you know what makes me a little bit frustrated, a little bit. When we tell you it's speculative, you go a little bit too over excessive. You went 30%. And then after that, when you lose 50% of that 30%, you come to me like, hey, Ryan, Andy, Charles, I went in a little bit too deep, and then I'm not sure whether I should cut or not, whether I should stay, whether I should hodl. I don't know, man. See, because your emotions were all messed up already because you over leverage. So don't be that person. Okay, moral of the story, don't be that person. Be a smart investor, right? Invest what you're confident to put in there. Okay, if you're new, it's okay. But if you're more advanced, then you should be able to, I take it that you are already matured enough to handle your own funding and handle your own portfolio allocation. And I should not be hearing about all this kind of thing. Because if you got stuck, that means you over leverage. Simple as that. Okay, next thing, we want to cover allocation now. So moderate investors are looking anywhere from 40 to 50% into BTC. The altcoins position will be there. Cash position, right? Let's take it as salary. We assume that not everyone has a lump sum. We take it as salary. We're going to allocate a very fixed amount into these allocations very specifically. Very simple. Okay. No need to have a bunch of cash at the moment. I think I want to be a little bit more aggressive towards this part of the year because we've already been kind of like in a shell, like a tortoise at the beginning half of the year. It's already the mid-year. Let's be a little bit more aggressive. So for moderate investors, feel free to start using a little bit of your BTC. If you have 70% BTC, please start using it at the next few setups. Be more ballsy. Okay. Then from then, same thing, keep your portfolio between 5 to 7. If you can keep it to 5, guys, you will see the difference when you make money. You get more excited because it makes sense, right? See, the reason why people tend to not want to take profit is because they put too little into something. And they expect the bugger to 3x or 5x. When here we are looking at only from percentages-wise, 20, maybe 15, 20, 30%, But because you put so little, you want to see more gain because you're trying to match up with the group. You cannot think that way because this is a long game. You're not here to break even for 1 month in CG and then after that you disappear. That's not how it works. You're here because you're going to be able to gradually grow. Your portfolio will grow. See, if you stick to the strategy, your portfolio will grow. Everyone who is long enough in our group can be the testimonial. But before we can show you that growth, you have to stick to the strategy. Okay? So the next one is the conservative. So the conservative will be someone who will have to have cash. They are very comfortable with having USD Tether or USD. Okay? So this is a given. The mentality is such, nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Okay? So you want to have, for at least for the people who are conservative, to be honest, you're not that conservative, because if you're in crypto, you're not conservative. Okay? It's like saying that you, never mind, let's not go into that. Okay, then anyway, the ones who are conservative, you are probably 30% cash, 50% into BTC or Ethereum, and the rest into altcoins. This is kind of like how I would envision someone who is conservative to be. Okay, so same thing, you want to be a bit more brave with your trades, because you don't want to be missing out on certain key ROIs, right? And perhaps those who are more conservative can stick to either my kind of allocations, right? Or my kind of choices, or the way I analyze things, right? You will probably look at the way I start analyzing things. People who are moderate can kind of like use the steps that I've highlighted before in terms of the way I deduce a particular cryptocurrency. Then after that, those who are a little bit more aggressive will venture out and see what's up with all the rest of what the other signals groups are talking about, what kind of trading setups. But don't confuse yourself. Don't confuse yourself. If the kind of trading setups works already within here, then stick to it. It's good to also form other opinions from outside, but at the end of the day, you don't want to get confused, because it's also about consensus and acting upon it. If you take too long to make a decision, by the time the bloody trade moves, if let's say you took some time, you've been following this person, and this person, after that, you kind of form a deduction, right? But the level moves, then what? So you're not in the trade. You get frustrated, you kind of chase the trade. So I hope that after kind of walking you through this very, very quick session, all right, we are able to kind of clean up our portfolio by now. Okay? And I want to start hearing people making money and not getting stuck. Okay, please. This is very, very frustrating. It's already like we're already in the month of June. No one should be stuck. Everyone should be in the money. And if we didn't get a good call, we cut loss. Or we hodl because we know at the end of the day, it's going to be fundamentally sound. And even that portion that we hodl is not going to affect us. Okay? The portion that we hodl is not going to affect us. People who are staking, for example, you have already reached a certain level of wealth. Okay, let's just be very honest. You have already reached a level of wealth that staking makes sense to you. If your portfolio is kind of small, maybe staking is not for you. Don't bother, because you're kind of locking up liquidity you're locking up liquidity at this point. So don't stake, right? Don't think too much on staking. Think on working harder. Now, why do I say that? If you reach this certain level of wealth, or you will be willing to commit this amount of tokens into a particular stable network, okay, at least for now, it seems stable and secure. You don't have to work so hard, because your dividends per day kind of covers quite a bit of stuff. And you deserve it because you're willing to put more than other people. But if you are someone who is just starting out, you don't have that much to stake for it to make sense, even if the percentage is not bad. Look, everyone enjoys 5% to 6% per annum on the quantum network, for example, or some other network. You can go and check it out. But at the end of the day, not everyone should have that same level of the same strategy, because someone who has less will take longer to achieve a reward. Someone who has more will receive the reward faster. Okay? So from there, staking may not be for the individual that has less, despite the fact that the percentage is the same per annum. You see where I'm coming from? Okay, so now the next thing is, the next thing before I hand it over to Andy is, don't be easily enticed by certain consensus algorithms or certain incentive programs. Because certain incentive programs, they are there to attract, so that they want to draw people into the network faster. Be very, very cautious and use the steps that we are going to put out for you so that you can make a very, very solid deduction before you put your money. Because right now we are talking about, we are investing in digital assets, digital real estate here, okay, to a certain extent. Okay, we consider like we're having these little investments into very, very various projects that have not proven anything other than creating a token, and it's very concerning to me. So as much as we like to play the mainnet hype, as much as we love to play the airdrop hype, the fork hype, is that all we're going to focus on? That means we have not grown, as a group. We have not grown because we fail to see what is the underlying that makes the project tick. So the next one we want to talk about is the securitization of tokens and asset layers. Okay, this whole year, I think there have been talks about Hashgraph. There's been talks about T0. Okay, these two. Okay, so securitization of tokens or security tokens will come to pass. They're going to have features like dividends. Okay, they're going to have features like dividends, or even an option for the holders of those tokens to even convert to shares. I'm sure all these things are happening, or even existing projects. Once that exchange is built up, there's going to be companies that are able to list on this platform, and then after that eventually move to ICO or IPO. There's going to be all these things. So whatever you see in the current stock market is happening here. And also the mechanism for raising funds is only private placement only. So that means meaning that it's going to be AI or institutional funds. Okay, so that means the general public is shut up. So what happens is that, yes, these projects are credible. These projects tend to want to do things by the book. But then that opens up a very huge gap for projects that want to capitalize on the fact that you are denying people. I'm going to come up with a project. If they're good, they're going to project that is the same. But unfortunately, because of the way they raise their funds, right, they are not going to be able to have the kind of blessing from the higher authorities because they did a public ICO. You see where I'm coming from? So the ones that are more compliant will have the blessing because you decided to be compliant. You decided to play ball, right? And then from then, okay, eventually, when I give the go ahead, you are going to be kind of business ready and you're going to open the floodgates for this sector. But it's not for everyone, you see? Then after that, you have the same segment, which is the current segment, nothing has changed, which is the public ICO space. The whole shield fest, okay, where anybody and everybody can be an advisor, right? So be cautious, guys. End of the day, just be cautious. Double check with the community. We are here as a family. We are really a family. There's no one else outside that is going to help you out except the community within here. Also, for the fact that if you bring the influence in, all right, make sure you justify and substantiate. Don't hurt the group. Because if you hurt the group, I will hurt you back big time, man. Because this community, we built it, all right? And I sincerely hope that you have always the best intentions for the group. And also, when you bring something from outside in, okay, when you bring something from outside in, please bear in mind that you are part of this family as well. If you tell me that you're going to hurt your own family, right, then you're quite a fucked up individual. But nonetheless, I know everybody wants to help each other make money. That's all I wanted to say. So I hope that everyone will have fun, and let's get into the speculative shit. Okay, let's go. The current one that I want to talk about is Fusion. So Fusion has a wait. Let me do a little bit of screen share. Okay. Let me screen share. Okay, so I was reading about this project called Fusion. Apparently, it has a little bit of controversy and history behind it with the VeChain team and the Quantum team. Okay, so I want to put same thing, right? It's my same deduction like how I looked into this OCN. So I'm gonna just share screen to show you about this project. Oh, wait, sorry. Okay, let me stretch the screen. All right. Okay, so hype coin number one. So hype coin number one, I've been hearing a lot of hype about Fusion. Okay, now what is Fusion's value proposition here? So it is focused on crypto finance. So this term has been it's been around for quite some time. So I kind of see the direction they want to basically create a few things. So it's I hope you all can see, right? So they're going to focus on the derivatives market. It's going to create an exchange. There's going to be an academia, which is of course for you to start learning. Community, there's blah blah blah. Lending, insurance, investment banking, fund. Sounds a lot like banca. Remember, there was a project that I interviewed that was also built on quantum that is called banca. Yeah, that fella didn't fare so well. But let me take note on the partners in this particular project. So the partners in this project, there's this guy called De Zhunqian. Okay, De Zhunqian or Qian Dechun, should be Qian Dechun. Okay, created quantum. So this guy is claiming that he's the founder of BitC and created quantum. Okay, and VeChain founder of Kernel Blockchain Technologies. Right. So this guy, yes, he has been kind of in the same team as Patrick and all that. So I'm like kind of figuring out whether this guy who is the real founder. To me, I think Patrick was, the founder of Quantum, right? But then again, he's saying that he created Quantum. So okay, so now there's this debate, right? Because everyone knows that I'm a quantum investor and I've been invested in quantum for the longest time. Also, I'm a quantum fan. So when I see this, I'm like, okay, is this legit? So it's kind of hard. And when I did a little bit of digging, right, what the quantum team is saying that it's not true. This guy, yes, they kind of came together, but he's not the original. He's one of the founding members, but he's not like the main founder. So just to be very, very sure. And he didn't create quantum, okay? He did not create quantum. It was Patrick, Jordan Earls, and Neil Mahi, okay? But he's saying that he wants a piece of the pie. That's why he puts it out there. Can you think about it this way? He's starting out himself, right? So he may be one of the founders of BitC. I really don't know the real history because I think everyone's a little bit tight-lipped on it. So there's a bit of that controversy and fun about it, right? So I'm kind of like looking at this project. And the rest, look, I don't really know who the rest are, okay? But when you look at the advisors and all that, okay, there are a mixture of, ex-VCs to people who are doctorates and all that. So I'm looking at playing the hype for this one. So let's see what's the roadmap like. Okay, so the roadmap for the second half of so the Q1, okay, you have the Q1 is already almost over. So there's going to be the mainnet launch in Q2 of 2018. Okay, so mainnet hype. Okay, mainnet play. Okay, execute smooth token transition. Blah blah. Okay, so same old, right? Same shit lah. This is nothing new to us. Then after that, complete 100 billion of distributed control services of the Fusion blockchain. Improve smart contract development tools. Okay, I don't see anything exciting happening here. So during this period of Q3 and Q4, I would say will be the kind of the partnerships. So the partnership play. There were all the partnership announcements. So this is kind of one of those tokens that you can kind of take note on. The other one that I want to, this is by the way, finance, crypto finance. The other one is ontology. So let me go to ontology. Let me stop sharing. Are you able to see? Okay. Okay, so ontology. The other one is ontology. This is available on Huobi. So this one is ontology. Ontology is kind of like same thing. It's not the same. Sorry, it's focusing on interoperability, same as the Aeon people and all that. So this one is more on interoperability. So ONT blockchain focuses on common services for applications and other chains in ontology ecosystem and provided by one or more service public chains. Okay, high performance and flexibility interaction protocols, right? So it's the same thing, different cross-chain, cross-system, and cross-industry scenario. So I'm thinking to myself, right? Isn't that what quantum is doing? But never mind. See, I cannot keep letting you all get in yourselves into more and more and more quantum. I want you all guys to, experiment and invest in other stuff. So that being said, these are my two picks: fusion and ontology, right? Both, unfortunately for what you call it, fusion, the availability is only on buy box, which is another exchange that we have to use. Okay, and we do not know what's the credibility of buy box. Never mind. Then we have ontology. Ontology is available on Huobi, so not too bad, right? At least as long as it's on Huobi, I'm fine. So to sum things up, the hype play for me would be fusion and ontology, and my main bulk of my coins will still be in Bitcoin, quantum, HT. I'm gonna go very, very hard on it until once I start finding some consolidation, I will go hard on it, and MPXS. Okay, so this is kind of like where I'm focused on. If my trade was in Ethereum, that means if I used Ethereum to buy into the coin, I will take profit into Ethereum. If I use BTC to buy into a coin, I will take profit into BTC. That way, I track very, very easily on whether I'm up or not. I do not care about the US dollar value at the moment. I will only care about the US dollar value when I decide to cash out into fiat, right? To kind of have a lockdown or rebalancing of my portfolio. Okay. And when we call for that, that will be probably at a specific point at the end of the year, or if the market goes insanely parabolic, which like it did at the end of December. But if it doesn't, that means it's going to be a pure new, very, very flat bear market. And this period will be all about focusing on accumulation. Okay. Yeah. So that being said, let me hand it over to Andy, and he'll probably cover the various types, or no, he will cover the technical analysis part. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah. So you can switch to your share screen.
All right, hey guys. So let me just address what happened to Charles first. All right. So some of you are asking what happened to him. It's not a last minute decision, and it's not CG who fired him. Okay, so he actually so just to make things clear. Okay, I think some of you are thinking, oh, what happened to Charles the bumper? But so what happened to him is that he wanted to go on his own. He has made a fair bit in the market. We respect that, and at the same time, he felt that his time spent here could be well spent trading, or could be do other stuff. And so with all due respect, we respected that as a company point of view or as a management. And so that was the reason why we decided to let him go. It was a very amicable situation. There was no conflict. It was not fighting like, oh Charles, you stupid bumper. Like, there wasn't anything like that. Okay, so just to clarify that, we ended it in an amicable manner. We are always welcoming him back, to even just hang out with the Singapore guy. So you're pretty okay. Okay, so we're really cool about that. Okay, so I think yours need to mute here.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay, so let's talk about charts. All right, and so what I want to cover is, of course, as you all know, we'll cover BTC. I'll cover ETH. I will cover quantum, QTM or quantum. I will cover what's that? MPXS for P. And also EOS. All right. So just want to talk a little bit about them. And then after I'll talk about polymath, which was something that I researched a little bit, just let you know and think about it as well. I'm not gonna talk about it so much. All right. So let's talk about BTC. Now in terms of charting and TA, there's infinite ways of drawing it. Okay. Coinbase even say it will drop to 3K, but it didn't happen. All right. So what I want to say is, TA is always used as a guide. All right, and it's not foolproof, and especially for markets that are highly manipulative and volatile. And like example like Huobi, right? There was no way you can chart a parabolic, and then after that there was a strong dip, and then it's just very huge, heavily manipulated. I'll explain to you why I realized that it was heavily manipulated later, by showing you the volume and stuff. Okay, anyway, so as of now, what we see in BTC, right, is that it has broken a new trend line. This is on the 4 hours on Bitmex. So it has broken a new trend line. It's actually hovering above EMA 50, which is the pink line. All right, so the cyan color line is actually the EMA 200. So I always use 50, 200 as my EMA cross, just to let you all know. And this particular spot here that I circled was the golden cross, right? So golden cross always indicates a dip, stronger. Okay, so this is in traditional markets. Anything that has a golden cross up here, okay, that happened when 50 was above 200, that led to a rise, and then subsequently, sometimes traders, right, or long-term investors, you just trade on this. Even if I buy in BTC at this price, right, if you realized, when this actually kind of solidified, let's say I buy BTC around this price, this candle, 8,500, I'll still make that rise. Okay. So just saying how you can just trade basing EMA, it's no issue about that. Okay. But this is really long term lah. So anyway, at this point in time, I can see that EMA 50, it's a very, very strong support now. You can see that the Kumo cloud is still quite big. Okay, there's still volume in terms of shorting and selling and things like that. But what is happening is that the candles are entering into the Kumo, entering into the cloud. So in order for it to go from below the clouds, which is a very strong resistance on its own, to above, okay, we need to make sure it breaks. So it will look something like this when it breaks the cloud. All right, when it's rising above the Kijun Seng line. Okay, and of course above the cloud. So it's already above the Kijun Seng line. Kijun line is this blue color line. All right, so it's actually above EMA 50, above Kijun Seng on 4 hours, looking very good, breaking into the cloud. So we need to see, this is the shortest way, okay, least resistance, line of least resistance. All right, so if it breaks through this particular line here, this particular space here, what we'll see is you'll see BTC booming again. All right, and you can see that EMA 50 is like closing up to the 200 line. All right, so we need to confirm with the cloud breaking through and also EMA 50 crossing the 200, and therefore we know we are on an uptrend. Volume wise, it's kind of picking up, I guess, if you think about it, but it aligns with RSI. There isn't any divergence here, so it's all good. It's converging. And so it's good news for BTC. And what we are thinking about is, because after consensus, it takes about a week or a few days for partnerships to kind of solidify, or even for BTC to kind of find its own space or own way. All right. So this is looking very good on BTC. But I was looking at ETH and BTC as well. So this is on daily, by the way. So you can see a golden cross here as well, and ETH started going up. So I do know some traders and some investors are just wait for this cross for like every 3 months they just wait for a cross and they just long or short based on this. I tell you, it's not guaranteed to make money, but it's generally the trend will play out, because sometimes you can be a fake out too. Like example, you buy it here and then yeah. So it all depends on experience lah and other charting format. Okay, but anyway, on daily, right? FBTC has already broken across the cloud. You can see that broken through the cloud. And it's above Kijun Seng line. Kumo cloud is going on an uptrend as predicted later on. Volume is very, very high. I know Francis Hum has been talking about it on a premier group as well, about how how ETH has potentially have more upside than BTC. And true enough, if BTC were to boom, were to rage a bit, like beast up a bit, I think ETH will beast up more in terms of technical. So if you're holding on to some ETH, you might just want to stick to ETH for now. I don't know fundamental news, what is happening. Could be Casper, could be other stuff, but ETH, I realize Ethereum might always kind of delay their roadmap. I don't know why. It's a tendency, or they always say, oh, we need to go do more testing. And then like Casper was supposed to be early, and then they say, oh, we need to do some testing, it's delayed. And then there's a lot of hacks going on because it's one of the second biggest network and things like that. And Vitalik is not very outspoken, right? He's not for the show vest. So it's a very slow kind of thing. But then again, I always have reservation for ETH, because I always think if I want to develop a DApp or an app or whatever, why would I want to go for Ethereum where it's $700? I need to burn so much money. All right. So, but once again, it's a pros and cons thing. If I'm listed on ERC20 tokens, I always get more funds. Right. So it's really a chicken and egg kind of thing. Okay. But that being said, the upside for ETH is better as compared to BTC. So if you do have some ETH, you might want to hold on to that for a while. All right. But they are both looking quite good. Okay. If there's no FUD going on, if there's nothing that's going to impact them. All right. Let's talk about the Silk Road of volume. Okay. Quantum. So like I always say, the volume of quantum always looks like a Silk Road, right? This is like building from, say, Egypt to Cairo, and then from Cairo to Spain, and then to Argentina, and then one boom, and then that's it, go down again, and then building that Silk Road again from India to China to Mongolia. So it's like, it's a very, very slow moving thing. It's not very exciting. But because it's not very exciting, the moment it does goes up, it's kind of exciting. It's like a volcano, it builds up, enough pressure, and then bam, that's it. And then the question about quantum that I really have is, why is Ryan laughing? But the question I really have about quantum is whether you'll find a new support. Like let's say it booms, let's say it booms to $50 or whatever. Will that become a new support? You know, like will it go through what Ethereum went through back in 2017 or 2016, right? Does it find a new support and it never goes down to the level anymore? But quantum is like a freaking scam sometimes. It goes to $100 and you think like, okay, it's gonna find a new support at say $40 and then boom, it went to $11. It's like, yeah. So anyway, I shouldn't be talking about it beside Ryan. But so we can see a channel forming a very nice triangle. And only and having known about EMA 50 and 200 now, you can see that it's still on a downtrend. Yeah. And it needs to break the cloud for it to really move up properly. And EMA 50 is forming and it's becoming a resistance for quantum to really move. So it's really fighting. Right? Sad to say, the volume is weak and it really needs a lot to push it up. And I don't know whether is it because it's being suppressed. I feel so. But you can see the Kumo cloud is closing. Okay, it's coming closer together. And when it comes closer together, it's easier for the candles to break through. And so based on that alone, we should see some breakup soon. And for those who were talking about quantum a few days ago, I did a drawing. Just want to show you all that it's my own prediction. I'm just thinking that this is feed time extension. Okay, wait, let me draw. I think it's here. Okay, so this is called the feed time, what's it called? Feed time zone. Okay, so basically when you draw on either the increasing candle or the biggest drop in a candle, this is what I learned in Fibonacci. Okay, this is advanced Fibonacci. I'm not going to go through in details, but you could kind of see that it kind of corresponds in terms of a cyclical pattern, in terms of Fibs. And probably the next one will come either next week when the x86 talk is coming out. But understand that x86 for next week is only a test net. It's not even at the main net stage yet. And it will only be at the end of the year where x86 will be full. Like you'll be, okay, let's go, and then that's when the transaction will really increase. And think about that. Okay, I was driving this morning, I was thinking, okay, so if let's say the transaction does increase based on x86 mainnet at the end of the year, that will mean that the stakers would benefit a lot because there's a lot more transactions now, right? And therefore, the stakers have now got to think, okay, should I dump because the prices have went up? Or should I continue staking because the reward's getting better? So I think, right. So I was thinking, oh shit, like this freaking Patrick just kind of lock us down as stakers. I'm thinking like shit, like let's say I got 5,000 or I got 10,000 quantum. And then I'll be like, damn, like should I take profit? Or should I continue staking? Because now transaction increase, I'm getting faster blocks. Like I'm mining, say, maybe 4 quantum every 2 days now. Oh my god, the whole ball game changes. And perhaps like 1 quantum, maybe by then is $50 or $100. And that will be crazy. That's like a $400 in every 2 days. So think about it for a second. And that's when I realized, okay, I need to start kind of stocking it up. Okay, so I'm just gonna DCA slowly into quantum. I tell you, this is a very long project. So I'm just letting you all know. Okay, but okay, just saying, all right, there should be some boom coming on soon. Yeah, and there's a lot of hype about quantum recently, okay, but the volume is not supporting whatever is coming. Okay. Now, EOS. So EOS has been hyped up a lot, I feel. And to be honest, to be really, really honest, not because I'm biased towards quantum or anything, but I haven't really seen much development coming from EOS team. As much as they say whatever they want to talk about, or even things like that. And so from the all-time high, it was a 40% dip to the lowest level. And like I always say, retracement between 30 to 50% is always a good buy. Buy as in BUY. Okay, so. It's always a good thing to get in whenever it's a 30 to 50% retracement. All right. So 40% seems good. So no matter what, right? If let's say you see a chart like that, from all-time high retracement, and if you were to draw a Fibs and you think and you see how the Fibs work out, right? You realize also that this actually forms the new level. All right. So sometimes I chart based on price range. I want to see how much it has dipped. At the same time, I'll look at Fibs and see what's the potential upside. All right. So now you can see it's struggling above like just the first Fib level, and we will see where it's gonna go. But you can see the cloud is closing in as well. So there's a lot of eyeball. Okay, honestly, there's a lot of eyeballs on EOS. Okay, there's a lot of people looking at EOS. Korean exchanges are also looking at it. In fact, it's one of the top volume in a lot of Korean exchanges. If you don't believe, just go to CoinMarketCap, take a look at it. You'll see EOS topping most of the charts. Okay, but that being said, volume can come in both sell and buying volume. All right, so it can be either ways. But EOS, it's still I feel there's still a lot of potential upside. All right, but I'm not gonna ask you to FOMO in right now, because it slightly went up. But I think 157835 around the EMA 200 level is always a good level to buy in. So if you learn nothing from today, just learn 50, 200. It's a very good gauge to know where the price level. And you can see that 50, this is 50, this line, pink line, okay, it's a 50 EMA. You can see how well it's being supported brilliantly. So if you want to go in aggressively, this could be the level. But if you want to be chill, you don't mind just sitting out on BTC and F for a while, don't need to go into EOS for some high risk, then you can just queue at 157, 158 range. That will do fine as well. Okay. So anyway, that's EOS. Now, let's talk something more exciting. Let's talk about MPXS and Huobi. Okay. So MPXS, okay, I couldn't access Coinbase. I don't know why. Okay, I could access it, but the chart is not loading at all. I think they're going through some upgrade since this morning. So I've got a very, very simple chart here that I cannot do a lot of things. I couldn't even draw FIPS on Hotbit. All right. So it's disgusting. But anyway, I'm just gonna use what I've used before. Old time's sake. Okay. I'm gonna use what we call parabolic SAR, which I think Brian has been talking about it recently. And also RSI OBV still my baby, that's still there. And also fractal. All right. So I couldn't even draw trend lines. Come on. Okay. So sorry guys, I cannot even draw horizontal support resistance. But just basing on parabolic SAR, fractal, and also my knowledge in candlesticks, what we are seeing is really this on 4 hours by the way. So what we're seeing now is some form of reversal. You could see a few reversal candle being 1 here, 2 here. Okay. And then the dip start beginning. Okay. It begins with the dip. All right, so this fractal point here actually shows that this candle is a strong resistance level. So the new resistance level is actually at 179 or 180. All right, so this is the new resistance level in that sense. Once broken through, then you'll see more action. Okay, so guys, take note. Okay, so next thing, if you want to get into MPXS, okay, okay, so what I personally feel, okay, is that consensus just ended last week. All right, and they only had 10 minutes to talk. And from what I heard was that the speech wasn't very impressive. Okay, but it's fine. But anyway, what came out of that consensus would be the partnership coming this week or next week. Okay, because it takes some time for the general markets, or be it crypto markets, be it the crypto projects, or blockchain projects, or it could be just the mainstream, big four, the businesses, corporations that has been around for a while, IBM, whatever. They were also at consensus, and they saw the device giving them access to cryptocurrency. All right, so if you're a mainstream business, you'll be thinking, shit, I need to get this first, right? And therefore, there's going to be a lot of competition. This is just my gut feel. And so Zach will have to manage partnerships with blockchain projects to be listed on the XPOS. And also he will have to partners with institutions, with big corporations, whether or not to distribute their XPass or their XPOS. So think about that for a second. So this is the phase of consolidation. This is the phase of things of partnerships going on. It only makes sense this way because businesses are slow in moving, right? There's a lot of hierarchy of approval to be done. But from what I see, this is the only company or only project with a physical product that has a use case. But of course, it still needs to be proven, all right? Because the transaction haven't really begun yet. What if the burning rate is faster than what Zach predicts, and then your token is burning faster, and then they'll need to print more tokens, and then they'll dilute the value of the tokens, things like that. So a lot of pointers to consider, and all the major wallets are holding for the airdrop. What if there isn't enough circulating supply? So there's a lot of questions. I'm also questioning whether it makes sense or not, honestly. But honestly, there's a lot of upside lah. Okay, potential is there. Okay, but I'm not gonna ask anyone to FOMO. But the truth is, this is just my own point of view. MPXS. All right, so this is a very good support level. I'm just basing on candles. Honestly, it's 161. So for those who want to queue, you can queue. For those who are less FOMO, you want to just chill. You can base it on parabolic star here. All right. So the first star here, this is like a shooting star kind of thing. Very cool. Okay, parabolic star. But parabolic star assumption is whenever the charts or candles, okay, were to hit the trend here, it actually signifies a new trend coming up, which is a downtrend. Okay, so same goes for this. All right, you can see that the candles actually intersected with the star. It went up. All right, it went up towards another trend, things like that. Okay, so if you want to go and understand more about it, this is called a parabolic SAR, SAR. Okay, so anyway, a new support would, I think a good support level would be at 147 to 15. Okay, not to FOMO into anything. This to me is a good level. Potential upside is greater. As compared to FOMOing at 161, 160 level. All right. So there's still about 9 to 10 days to the airdrop. Okay, so I think generally trend is still looking good. We'll still see an upside potential. Okay, so this is what I feel about MPXS. All right, and like I say, I really want to see once the export starts kicking in, and I want to see the transaction that's gonna be happening, and I want to see how are they gonna determine how much tokens to burn. Okay, for each transaction, there's a lot of things to work out honestly, and I think Zach and maybe Danny, which is the CFO, didn't really predict that there would be such a huge take up of their project, and therefore maybe they miscalculated. I feel personally, maybe they kind of miscalculated in terms of the airdrop percentage a bit, because that will create a lot of hodlers at the start. Good because you keep the price stable, but at the same time you limit the circulating supply because everyone's just holding on to it and they will quickly dump it when the transactions happens or the price starts to moon. So there's a lot of pros and cons weighing in my mind as well. But to me, I'm just holding. I'm just setting aside a few million, just holding on to it, and really just just cover my eyes and I'll just take a look at it 3 to 5 years later when they are more developed. That's it for me. Okay, but let's talk about Huobi. Okay, so you can sense the enthusiasm. I'm not gonna show it too much. Someone in the premier chat said I was like trying very hard not to show Huobi. Like as much as I want to talk about it, I'm trying to hold back on my own self. But screw it. Okay, so anyway, so we saw the dip happen on the weekend. Some people were damn happy. Some people were damn sad. Okay, I had mixed feelings because I took 20% out of profit at about I can't remember where, about this level, right? Somewhere in between the range. I took 20% and I bought in at lower. I'm happy, man. And I was holding on to 80%. Of course, that 80% took a hit, honestly. Okay. But to me, it's an accumulation plan. I don't really care. As long as I know that upside is still there, it's fine. And this kind of retracement, it's what? So this kind of retracement, I feel it's essential. It keeps the market going. All right, it keeps the market going. There's a potential upside because we need some retracement. But the thing I found out when I was looking at the charts, right, on the weekends, was that I was looking at the order books, and I think I was talking to some of you on the Premier Chat and Legacy, I think, about the order books being very manipulated. So somehow accidentally I click on HT/USD Tether, and that was the point where it was going $4 to about $3.92. All right, $3.92. And suddenly I saw a huge influx of buy and sell orders in 30,000 to 50,000 HTs. All right, it was just like normally you just see hundreds or like 1,000, which is pretty okay, like 5,000. That's understandable. But suddenly there was huge influx of buy orders at 50,000, 30,000, okay, and blah blah blah. Right, and there was a huge big struggle, and I saw the candle like fluctuating, ding, 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 like a heartbeat, and then suddenly it went above $4, and it didn't come down ever again. So what I'm trying to say here is, that even if I don't want to recognize this, even if we try and like cover ourselves up, you realize that HT is kind of heavily manipulated by the Chinese. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not just the Chinese, it could be entire market and whatever. But $4 seems to be the price that they agree upon. And there was a huge buy war. I cannot even describe. It was buying up in terms of 50,000 to 100,000 HT. And that was like what? Let's say 100,000. That's like 400,000 buy order US dollars on HT. And there was a $4 on 50,000. It's like a 200,000 buying order. People are buying up in 100,000s, like in dollars. Like, can you imagine that? Like, that was the buy order set at 390 to $4. And so what I personally believe is that is gonna be the new support range. All right. So every time it really, really dips to that level, you gotta just, okay, I'm not gonna say all in, but you're gonna be calculated risk, okay, and make sure your portfolio makes sense, and then you go in. All right. So to me, my target is still the same, 30 to 40,000 Huobi tokens, and I'll be very, very happy. I'll just sit on it like a chicken, and I'll just take profit every time, 20, 30%. When I reach a new all-time high, and then I'll buy back again based on the retracement. I'm just gonna keep doing that, and then slowly, by and large, it will get to the level I want to get to. All right. So I'm just doing that. For now, okay, so just sharing my strategy on that. So we could see in terms of feeds wise, okay, 50, you see 50 200 is still very, very strong, but RSI is recovering. It's going above 50 on midline on RSI, so we'll see an uptrend soon. Honestly, volume, it's still very, very high even based on the dips. You can look at this dip. I don't know whether you can see. Maybe I'll make the volume more obvious for you guys. Yeah, okay, give me a minute. Okay, wait, this is volume. Okay, so let me just change it to OBV so you all will see it clearly. Okay, so I think this is much better, right? Okay, so you can see RSI hitting above 50. It actually dipped all the way to 38. I was hoping it will get to overbought, and then I'll be like, yes, this is the best indicator to buy back. But okay, it didn't. Right? So as upsetting as it is, I'm like, shit, like crap, like why didn't it go down? Okay, anyway. So I was like pessimistic as Ryan. Ryan made me pessimistic. Like he's like, no, you will drop 45, 40. I was like, fuck you, bro, fuck you. But it didn't even go down to this level. Okay, so upsetting as it is. But I think some of you did enter based on my EP3, which is 4.8. I hit the exact point. And I'm really glad for most of you who did anyway. EP1, EP2, EP3 all hit and you're in profits now. So I'm really, really glad for any, especially for those who hit at EP3. I think I forgot what's my level. What was my level at for Huobi? Yeah, so I give a 48557 EP4. Sorry, that was an EP4. 48557 will be around this level. So you capture that greatest candle of your lifetime, okay? And you'll be upside of 10 to 20. What's the upside then? 10 to 20%, I think. Okay, so anyway, so let me just do it for fun. Okay, I don't know if price range. Okay, I'm just doing a charting for you. Sorry, today's webinar is a bit long, but anyway, I think it's good stuff. Okay, so I think that was an 18% upside from whichever point you buy in. So if you did follow my call at EP3, EP4 at 48, was it 48? Damn, I cannot find. Okay, 48. Okay, 48557. Yeah, I'm just gonna be quite exact here. Okay, so let's say. Okay, let's be humble. Okay, let's say you go in at 48675. That's a 16% upside, guys. Congratulations. Okay, anyway, 15%. So that is Huobi for you guys. And every time when there's kind of like a dip, let's just kind of get in lah. So anyway, so this is Huobi. Now, potential upside, I would say to me, I really hope that Huobi can get to $10. And then I'll consider major taking profit over that region. And of course, there's a lot of rumors that it can go to $20 and all. But it really all depends on what could potentially be coming out from the partnerships and everything, and certain news that could be linked to political news and whatever. I'm not gonna say much. I think some of you understand. So there are certain news that's coming up. For Huobi. And remember, okay, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna say Huobi was once the top one exchange in China. Top one, number one. Okay, number one. So I'm not shilling here, I'm just telling you guys. But just get on every dips, you'll be happy, man. No need to thank me. If you're in Singapore, you can treat me some beer. That's it. But basically Huobi is still a long-term hold for me. Okay. And I think some of you who are in Huobi, you should be quite happy as well. Okay. I'm happy for you guys. Yeah.
Okay, just want to quickly tie up. So speculative plays, we are looking at Fusion, ONT. So we will probably give some levels for those. Then there is Huobi. Huobi, we want to go a little bit heavy throughout the whole year. For quantum, the volume is really not there. So you're really gonna be holding it for a very long term, guys. We're looking at until the end of the year. Okay, so if you expect to want to flip and all that, I suggest that you really give quantum a skip. Okay, then for for the rest of the other trades that we'll be putting out, that has a very healthy volume, like EOS currently having a lot of volume. Maybe we can look at Cardano again. That looks pretty okay. All these plays are still something that we can look at. Other than that, guys, we are done for the day's webinar. Have a very, very good day ahead, a very good week ahead, and let's continue to build our wealth in CG. All right, see you guys.